Hi, this is Dr. O'Hara. I'm going to start a new section now on grammar, and I'm going to go over capitalization and spelling. So the capitalization is on pages 101 to 104 in the book, but it doesn't go into very much detail. So I wanted to give you some more information that's not in the book. And most of this information is from the Chicago Manual of Style. So we all know that we capitalize the first word of a sentence, and we capitalize proper nouns. We capitalize trade names and brand names for drugs, equipment, and food, but we do not capitalize generic names. Capitalize noun followed by numerals like day 2 of experiment 4, table 2, chapter 4, but we do not capitalize the parts of books or tables. The table is capitalized here, but not parts, such as page, row, column. Okay, we capitalize the important words in the titles and headings. And in the reference list, though, only the first word is capitalized. And what do I mean by important versus unimportant words? The unimportant words are articles, conjunctions, and prepositions that do not start the title. They're interior to the first word of the title or heading. We only capitalize departments and classes if they are specific, like this department of sociology at the University of Washington. This is a specific department. Otherwise, we're just going to refer to it as the sociology department. And then we're going to capitalize Johns Hopkins Emergency Department, but if we say the procedure is done in the emergency department, then we're not going to capitalize that. Psychology 101 is a specific class, so we're going to capitalize that. But if we're talking about psychology in a generic way, then we do not capitalize that. We do capitalize the titles of tests, so surveys and other instruments for data collection are capitalized. I'll give you some examples here. And in APA style, we capitalize races, ethnicities, and religions, including black and white. This is not true in other styles, but it is true in APA style. And African American is always hyphenated, but that's not true for the other hyphenation of names. Capitalize the genus, but not the species. And for geographic areas, anything on a map can be capitalized. So I gave you some examples here. The Antarctic, Cook County, the Florida Panhandle, the Loop in Chicago. Do not capitalize directions, such as north, south, east, and west. And we capitalize computer terms, such as the commands, the back button or go, and capitalize the E in email when it starts a sentence. We capitalize events and legislation, so the Civil War era, American with Disabilities Act, World War II, Geneva Convention, those sort of things. Capitalize titles, but not following a name or in place of a name. So we'll say President Lincoln, but otherwise we say the president. Same thing with these other entities. Cardinal Newman, but we'd say the cardinal. Empress Elizabeth of Austria, otherwise the empress. Do not capitalize federal or government when referring to the federal government or state governments. And do not capitalize the legislature for federal or state levels. But we do capitalize these official names: Congress, Senate, House of Representatives, Republican or Democratic Party, or the people, Republicans or Democrats. Capitalize Capitol when you mean the building for the U.S. or a state. The Oval Office is capitalized, the West Wing is capitalized, White House is capitalized, the Electoral College is capitalized. Now for civic titles, again, when we're using it generically, we don't capitalize it. So George Washington was the first president of the United States. That's not capitalized, but we would say President Washington, and that would be capitalized. Or the presidency is not capitalized. Same thing with the vice president. Same thing with senators. And same thing with representatives or Congress people. Same format holds for military titles and religious titles. Same thing with corporations and organizations. If you're using the name of the title as a descriptor, then it's not capitalized, only when it is used in conjunction with the person's name. Same thing with academic titles. And we do not capitalize the names of laws, theories, models, statistical procedures, or hypotheses. So the theory of relativity, empirical law of the effect is not capitalized. The health belief model is not capitalized. We do not capitalize the names of diseases unless they include a proper noun. So German measles, German's going to be capitalized. Parkinson's disease, Parkinson is named after a person. And Down syndrome, Down is named after a person. But these other diseases, measles, diabetes, malaria, tuberculosis, these are not capitalized. And then professional titles or occupations only capitalized in association with the person's name. So here, if I had my name, Maureen O'Hara, physician assistant, as the signature line in a letter, I'm going to capitalize my title here. But if I'm going to say Maureen O'Hara as a physician assistant, then I'm not going to capitalize physician assistant. Same thing if the description of the job, the occupation, is before the person's name, it's not capitalized. So physician assistant Maureen O'Hara dictated her notes, so it's not capitalized. So again, we do not capitalize occupations when they're used in a general way. And then here's some miscellaneous words that we do not capitalize. As I mentioned, the seasons of the year, and also when they're used in conjunction with other words like fall semester. We do capitalize generation in Gen X, but not for baby boomer or the millennials. And then don't capitalize any of these proper nouns that are used for food and other products. And don't capitalize a word just because it's going to be abbreviated. So the federal poverty line is abbreviated as FPL, and it's not capitalized. Same thing with gross domestic product, and it's the abbreviation is capitalized, but not the actual words. And then if you have a first word of a hyphenated combination in a sentence, only the first word is capitalized. And conversely, if you have a heading or a title, not a sentence, then you capitalize both of the hyphenated words. Okay, I'm going to move on to spelling here. Just a few things to bring to your attention. Internet is capitalized in the dictionary, so that's the way we're going to spell it. I have a feeling over time it will not be capitalized because other styles do not, but for right now, APA uses the dictionary and it's capitalized. Same thing with World Wide Web, but you may need to look up these words. Website is, the web is capitalized and it's 2 words, whereas webinar is 1 word and it's not capitalized. Same thing with webcam and then web page. Healthcare is 2 words in the dictionary, so what I say is wherever you have control over the way it's spelled, which is in the body of the paper, then use 2 words. X-ray, capitalize the X when it's a noun, but don't capitalize it when it's a verb. That's kind of a peculiarity there. And then words with up, you capitalize the words that are nouns and adjectives, but you do not hyphenate verbs. And then with the United States, when the U.S. is used as a noun, meaning the country, there's no periods there. And when you're using it as an adjective, we put the periods in, like U.S. population. And then I just want to remind you that the correct name for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, it's more than one center. Same thing with the National Institutes of Health, it's more than one institute. The official name of the university is Nova Southeastern University, or the abbreviation is NSU. There's no full caps. The logo has been changed to take this out to avoid confusion. And then if you're going to use PowerPoint, Microsoft spells it this way. It's an adjective. It cannot be used without a noun. So you need to say PowerPoint presentation, PowerPoint technology, PowerPoint slides. Okay, I'm going to end here and then pick up with some other miscellaneous items.